regular business meeting of the Fort Sam Houston Independent School District's Board of Trustees. My name is Andrea Nicholas, and I, as board president, I have the pleasure of calling this meeting to order. Please note, this meeting is being live streamed on YouTube. For this reason, I ask that you please silence your cell phones. And if you must take a call during the meeting, please quietly step outside. This meeting of the Board of Trustees being held in front of the public, which is not the same as a public hearing or meeting for the public. The board and the district appreciate the interest of our constituents and welcome you at our meetings. However, in our Board of Trustee meetings, only the board members and members of the administration who are providing information to the board should be speaking during the course of the meeting, except for the portion of the meeting designated for public input. Should any audience member have a question during the course of the meeting, please do not interrupt the meeting or interject your question or comment in the middle of the meeting. Instead, please raise your question or concern with an appropriate person at the conclusion of the meeting so that the board can conduct our board business without interruption. I'll digress and go back up. Meeting agenda item number 1, call to order our Pledge of Allegiance to the United States flag and pledge up to the Texas flag.
Madam President, board members, faculty, staff, students, families, good evening. I would like to give you a little background about our pledgers and our inspirational moment speaker this evening. Our Pledge of Allegiance, our pledger leader representing Fort Sam Houston Elementary School is Trevor Hanberry, who is a member of Miss Ayala's 5th grade class. His parents are Sergeant First Class Trevor Hanberry and Mrs. Stephanie Hanberry. Trevor has a little sister named Olivia, had the pleasure of meeting her earlier this evening in Miss Taylor's class, and a big sister named London who attends Cole Middle School. He and his family have been a part of Fort Sam Houston ISD since Trevor was in 2nd grade. His favorite subject is math because he likes working out problems. When Trevor's not in school, he enjoys playing games, especially his VR science game that allows him to mix elements. After Trevor graduates from high school, he would like to go to college and become an engineer. So, thank you, Trevor. Our middle school pledger is Miss Adelina Martinez, and she's an 8th grader at Cole. She's the daughter of Mariel Gaton and Ireke Martinez and has 2 brothers, Marcelo, who is a 4th grade, and Santiago, who's in pre-K. Adelina is actively involved in several extracurricular activities at Cole, including volleyball, basketball, and track, and I had an opportunity to see her play volleyball. Not bad at all. Outside of school, she enjoys reading, listening to music. Adelina, and I didn't get a chance to ask you this offline, but what type of music? What's your playlist? Okay. Very good. All right. Place. Listening to music and playing video games, Adelina joined the Cole community in 7th grade, making her first school move. She found the transition to be welcoming and quickly grew to their appreciation in the unique atmosphere at Cole. Initially expecting to be like any other school, she was pleasantly surprised by how different and better it turned out to be. She values the supportive nature of the military community and feels comfortable being herself both in the classroom and in athletics. She especially admires the way Cole teachers engage students by involving them directly in the learning process. Adelina is grateful to be a part of such of a nurturing environment. Looking ahead, she plans to attend college and pursue a career in the medical field. And our inspirational moment speaker will be delivered by Aniza De Jesus, a dedicated student in the district since 2019. beginning her journey in 6th grade and now preparing to graduate the class of 2026. Anisa is the daughter of Sergeant Retired Rizaldi De Jesus, currently working at the Veterans Affairs as an administrative officer, and Catherine De Jesus, a paraeducator at Ed White Middle School. Thank y'all folks for being here this evening. I told Dad he had a little dirt on his hat, so I just wanted to make sure he gets that off there. She is an active member of the CTE Computer Science program, having completed AP Computer Science, and is currently enrolled in the newly developed AP Networking class. She also serves as the Vice President of the Cybersecurity Club and competes in Cyber Patriots, where her team was recognized as the top-scoring JROTC girls team last year. Beyond computer science, Anisa is involved in the JROTC program, where she proudly serves as the Battalion Cadet Commander, Sergeant Major, and is the President of the Science National Honor Society, reflecting her dedication to scientific exploration, academic excellence, and leadership. After high school, Anisa plans to attend Baylor University, where she will join the Air Force ROTC program and major in cybersecurity, continuing her passion for technology and service to others. Very good. So, this time, pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Good evening, members of the school board, staff, and guests. I'd first like to thank you for the opportunity to represent the CTE Computer Science and Cybersecurity program here at Cole. I didn't know in 8th grade that when I signed up for the computer science classes that would become a career I would want to pursue. At the time, it was just another elective on my schedule that I would have to move on after a year. However, joining this program completely changed that. Through several projects, problem solving, and teamwork, I understand how important technology and security is in our world. With cybersecurity attacks becoming more frequent, it's important to teach young people, such as myself, to defend themselves and others against these dangers. This program isn't just about computers, but shows a value I hold dear to me, protecting the people of our nation, our communities, our families, and more. When I first started, I was quiet and unsure. I made frequent mistakes and often felt frustrated when I would code. Over time, I found my confidence, and not only in coding, but in my voice and leadership. Being one of the few girls, or sometimes the only girl in my computer science classes, was never easy, but it's one of the most empowering parts of my journey through this program. I've learned to show that my passion and abilities hold more value than stereotypes, and I hope that by pursuing this path, I can inspire other young people and women to see that they belong here too. This program wouldn't be what it is today without Mrs. Stanton, who, with her passion for computer science and cybersecurity, had encouraged students in the past to create our amazing Robert G. Cole Cybersecurity Club. She is a teacher that constantly has our back, cheering us on at every competition, every UIL, invitational, and even at our award ceremonies. She always encourages us to challenge ourselves, but never leaves us stranded when dealing with difficult material. Her support and dedication have made this program feel like a family, and inspires us to reach more than our limit. I'm truly grateful for this district, our teachers, and everyone who supports programs such as this one. You've helped students like me find not just a career, but a sense of purpose. Thank you.
For each of you, I just want to say thank you very much for taking the time to share with us today our pledges as well as our inspirational moment, and I do appreciate the time that you shared with us, so thank you.
I'd like to picture with y'all, if that's, do that.
If parents are here, please come forward. And there any other parents back here? Okay. You can
All
hug
right. Come on in. Come on in here.
All right, we're gonna take a couple, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Great job, guys.
Positive stuff. Makes me feel good. Agenda item number 2, a quorum. With 4 of the 5 board members present, I declare a quorum. For the record, the following board members are present. Hewitt, Vice President, Colonel Zanate, Secretary, I'm trying to make sure I got it right. Colonel Aaron Braxton II, retired. Board member Willie White, Jr. And myself, Andrea Nicholas, President. Not present is Dr. Latoya Sizer, board member. Note that if at any time a board member arrives or leaves after the quorum status has been given, the member's name and time of arrival or departure should be announced by the presiding officer at the first opportune moment. Agenda item number 3. And I digress, guys. I'm learning, so please have patience and some grace with me. That doing the best I can, charges to my head, not to my heart. Yeah. Agenda item number 3, public comments. Fort Sam Houston ISD, public comments, information, and guidelines. 1. A meeting of the Board of Trustees is a meeting of the board in public, not a public meeting, which is to say that audience participation at a board meeting is limited to the public comment section of the meeting. At all other times during the meeting, the audience shall not enter into discussion or debate on matters being considered by the board. 2. During public comment, the board may furnish specific factual information or recite policy, but by law, the board shall not deliberate or decide regarding any subject that is not included on the agenda for that meeting, and any deliberation or discussion by the board will occur during discussion on the agenda item and not during public comment. 3. During regular board meetings, public comments may address any topic, whether posted on the agenda or not. During special called meetings or work sessions, public comments are limited to the items posted on the agenda only. 4. In order to participate in the public comment portion of a meeting, members of the public must sign up with the presiding officer or designee not later than 5 minutes before the meeting is scheduled to begin, and shall indicate the topic about which they wish to speak. 4. Individuals may be given up to 3 minutes to speak during public comment. However, when necessary for effective meeting management or to accommodate large numbers of individuals wishing to address the board, the presiding officer may make adjustments to the public comment procedures, including adjusting when public comment will occur during the meeting, reordering agenda items, deferring public comment on non-agenda items, continuing agenda items to a later meeting, providing expanded opportunity for public comment, or adjusting the time allotted to each speaker. However, no individual shall be given less than 1 minute per person to make public comment. 6, a member of the public who addresses the board through a translator shall provide a translator. A member of the board who addresses the board through a translator must be given at least twice the amount of time as a member of the public who does not require a translator. 7, the presiding officer or designee shall determine whether a person addressing the board has attempted to solve a matter administratively through resolution channels established by policy. If not, the person's presentation shall be halted and the person shall be referred to the appropriate policy to seek resolution. A, B, G, D, G, B, A, employee complaints. B, F and G, students or parent complaints. C, G, F, public complaints. 8, there shall be no disruption of the meeting by members of the audience. If after at least one warning from the presiding officer, an individual continues to disrupt the meeting by his or her words or actions, the presiding officer may request assistance from law enforcement officials to have the individual removed from the meeting, and once the individual is escorted off the premises, the person is not permitted to return during the meeting. Individuals with signs, props, or displays shall sit in the last row of chairs or along the back wall so as not to interfere with the meeting or with the public's observation of the meeting. 9, during public comment, individuals shall not use the name of district employees or of district students unless the student about whom they are speaking is their own child. Okay. Today we do have 2 that have signed up under to provide public comment. Public comment for open meeting agenda or non-agenda items title topics. We have first Christopher Downing. And do I call the next one right now, or I will? Okay. So if we could have Mr. Downing come, please. Thank you, sir.
Superintendent gets one.
Okay.
I would like to thank the board for hearing me speak tonight. I've provided the superintendent's assistant with a copy to each board member and the superintendent with the packet we received from TEA. On 1 July 2025, the FSS commander briefed the Fort Sam Houston community regarding the former president of the board, Mr. Willie White's online womanizing. We were told that TA has investigated the incident and nothing was found. When we asked Colonel Slack, the FSS commander, who told her that the investigation was conducted by TA, she stated that it was the former FSS commander and the school superintendent, Dr. Bates. Now, According to the packet that I just provided to the board members, that is not the case. TEA never investigated Mr. White's online activities. In fact, TEA deferred the investigation back to Dr. Bates. My question is, why did Dr. Bates state that TEA investigated when they had not done so? What are you trying to hide? Mr. White's online womanizing as a married man is not the kind of behavior I want someone sitting on the board to demonstrate. We need people who are on the board with high moral character, setting an example so we can develop our kids into strong leaders. This is yet another example of how out of touch the school board is and the superintendent is with the Fort Sam Houston community. After seeing the drug deal last board meeting with appointing the new positions on the board, it is time for Ms. Nicholas and Mr. White to resign immediately, seeing how your term ends in February of 2026, but you should resign now. Honestly, it's time for the majority of the board members to resign because y'all are worthless. Valuing toxic leadership and self instead of the students of this ISD. Mr. Bates, why did you lie? What else have you lied about? What are you trying to hide?
It's time. Next, public comment will come from Joe Shellhart.
Thank you, board members. Last month I came to you guys and I spoke about Senate Bill 26, I believe. As a person who likes to look into facts and looked into things, something was brought to my attention and I wanted to first present an apology for that. I was wrong after looking into it. So I do want to offer that to Ms. Novak for that simple thing. But even though that the Senate Bill 26 wasn't what the governor signed, we still have the teachers who this district, you may have gave a pay raise that the state funded, but the teachers still underpaid in this district. They normally get a 3% raise. I'm asking this board to consider that moving forward, that only the state paid their $8,000 or 4 and 8, which the district should still give a pay bump. And when they do substitution, not substitution, I apologize, when they do tutoring, according to the records, that's only $45 that they're getting for that. That's really low for the experience that they're bringing and the extra time that they're taking with our students. If we could raise that or have discussions on it, it would be definitely something, not only appreciated by the teachers in your district. I mean, at the elementary school alone, I believe we had 29 teachers resign last year, some retired, but still when teachers look at the board and they look at this district taking care of them as they help our children, that's something they consider. Lastly, with the minute 20 here, I would like to give this board formal notice. I have put a TIA out there, and I'm letting you know, as of Friday at noon, I will file a writ amendus with the county if that TIA isn't complied with. We've been back and forth in emails, and I'm letting you know that I've already sent something to the OAG, and I would hopefully we can get through this without having to use legal actions. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Agenda item number 4, achievements and special recognition.
Madam President, board members, faculty, staff, parents, thank you for being here again. October is a very, I guess it's a kind of a crossroad of our calendar. And the reason I say that, you have Breast Cancer Awareness Month, where we recognize survivors loved ones we lost, and continuing the fight for breast cancer. We also, a couple of days, have Halloween, where a lot of our students, and even I hear more so the adults, go out and indulge in trick-or-treating and Halloween. But what really stands out to me is this is also National Principals Month, or Administrators Month. Each time this year we get to recognize our administrators for the work that they do. It could be as something as being out there at the bus ramps, car ramps, welcoming our students or waving them off, ensuring that they're safe in the hallways, in the bathroom, in the lunchrooms, everything, and then some. And I just want to personally say thank you for all the leadership, all the times that you spend away, a lot of times from your own families, to serve our students here. So if you would not mind, would y'all please come, stand and come up and give them a round of applause. Now come on up. You know, one thing, being a former administrator, one thing is this job is kind of like the good and the bad and the ugly. Regardless of if they get high five, kudos, sometimes they're chewing on the phone or in person, or even berated. Guess what, folks? They're still here. They still come back each and every day because they know, regardless of the good and the bad and the ugly, the highs and lows, we're here to support our military students. So with that being said, thank each and every one of y'all. I appreciate all what you do. Dr. Sultan, where you at? Hurt my back. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Fisher, Dr. Cerna, got a little dirt on you. Just hand you, get them right. Mr. Bain, thank you. Another UT fan. Ms. Gomez, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Mailer, Ms. Jones, Mr. Dominguez. Thank you all for what you do. Thank you. Board members, would y'all like to take a picture with the administrator?
I can make you in the picture.
No.
So on three, we're gonna say we're all that. 1, 2, 3, we're all that. Gotcha.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Moving forward, agenda item number 5, superintendent's report.
Okay, once again, Madam President, board members, community, once again, thank you and welcome for being here. We've got a few reports to go over tonight with the board. At this time, I'd like to call Ms. Fisher.
Good evening, everyone, or afternoon, still early. I wanted to share the events that we have going on at the elementary. Today, our student council went over to the TEPSA Leadership Conference, so they got to learn about being campus leaders. We also have our kinder rotations that will occur tomorrow. They'll celebrate the fall, learning about fall. In November, we're gonna start off with our house color lunch on the 7th. We will be featuring our Purple House. On the 7th, we will also have our pre-K pizza night. It's one of our high-quality family engagement plan events from 5 to 6. The 13th and the 14th, we will have interims. On the 14th, we're also gonna have our annual pumpkin chunkin'. On the 19th, first grade will go on their first field trip to the Magic Theater. On the 19th in the evening, I'll also have apple pie with the principal from 5 to 6. On the 21st, the third graders will go to their first field trip to the Magic Theater, and the fourth graders will go to the San Antonio Zoo.
Very good.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Serna?
All right, hello, good evening. So I'll give you some of the events. You just go by the calendar and bulletin, there's tons of things going on. But I wanted to showcase CTE, Career Technical Education. This is why you saw Anissa come up and speak about cybersecurity and cyber patriots. They start their competition season now. It goes through probably April. But those are different competitions that they don't draw a crowd, but they go out and compete. And culinary is one of those groups that went out and they competed. They earned first place about a month ago on one of the competitions. The last time they went out, they earned third place for barbecue. And if you come by every now and then, you'll smell the smoke because they practice. They have practice too, and then we got to eat ribs just to support, and that's what we've been doing.
Tough.
It is. I learned new phrases, but the ribs are still good. Cybersecurity started competition. They did theirs October 23rd, and we call them the Cyber Patriots, and they compete. That's state and national. So when Anissa said she was top girls team, that was top in the state of Texas.
Oh, wow.
And then national follows that. Digital media went out. They had a local competition at St. Mary's Hall, and they select pieces that they displayed, and they select winners. And we had, I think we had about 40 to 50% of the pictures that they chose to exhibit, and then we had multiple winners. So small schools do well, but those are those unique programs that we bring, and St. Mary's Hall is a great host for that. Esports also competes, middle school and high school, and we have we have the number eight, one of the top ranked students in the competition. He's one of our ninth graders. They don't compete, they do every second Saturday, so they end, and then they don't compete to another month. So that's coming in November, so we don't know how that's gonna turn out yet. That takes a little while. So we're waiting on the second Saturday in November. They'll compete out at Techport here at Kelly Air Force Base. Upcoming events, we do have the marching band going out to compete in the area competition in Beeville Saturday. So marching band and color guard go out and do that on Saturday. If they're top 5 in that event, they go to state. And then we also have Veterans Day ceremony, November 6th. So if you're interested in attending that, that's gonna be November 6th, 9:30 a.m. here in the Coal Gym. Well, that's it. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Marquez?
Yes.
Hold one second.
Standing right here.
Just want to recognize, I know we talked about the Awareness Month, but also if you come onto the campus, you'll see the red ribbons tied, and that's Healthy Lung Month. And as a hospital, as an administrator myself in the healthcare field, right, we've been trying to push this, right, the tobacco-free campuses, smoke-free, total. And so I appreciate we're recognizing that Awareness Month for Healthy Lung Month as well. But also Career Day. And so I just want to thank the administration team as well as Ms. Garza, all the councils, Diaz, Sandoval, for putting on a phenomenal Career Day as you expose kids to opportunities. A lot of kids don't know what they want to be in life, right? But they know their why, but they don't know what they want to be. Because I submit to you, your B's have changed. I wanted to be a professional athlete. I wanted to be a physical therapist. I wanted to be a hospital administrator. And I just love to engage, and that's what I became. but I would love to engage our youth about the journey. Because oftentimes they don't understand the journey when it comes to careers. And so I appreciate that, and I look forward to next year as well, participating in Career Day. But I just love to engage our youth in Career Day. So thank you and your team.
I'll add Ms. Black to that too, he helps us.
Oh, appreciate it, Ms.
Yes, you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Ms. Marquez.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
So I was gonna highlight again, like we mentioned on the Awareness Month, so it is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And I just wanted to share with the board, we have tried something new this school year to really try to enhance our cybersecurity posture. And so when our staff members came back in August, we have deployed a gamified phishing experience where our staff members receive phishing emails, and if they positively report them and or take micro learning, really quick learning, they receive points, and they're competing with each other. And so I've had a significant culture shift where I have people who typically who don't check their emails are very eagerly checking their emails. To date, I wanted to share with you, since we started in August, I've had 612 phishing emails reported to me. And then I've also had 550 micro learnings that have taken place.
I had my first learning today.
Yes. And so it's really neat. I met with 2 different teachers over at Cole, and I provided them a little squirrel and a little certificate as a cheesy way of telling them thank you for being cybersecurity champions for us. But I really appreciate the positive culture shift on cybersecurity, and that they're being really diligent about phishing campaigns, and it's really helping our district posture. So I just wanted to share that with you in my report.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Coach Norman gives his regards. He's actually, I believe they're still out practicing, but I do want to introduce Miss Carly Meyerowitz. She is with with the R2 Performance Center. She's a sports psychologist practitioner, and she, as Coach Norman said, last year at the C Awards, this was a kind of a pilot program, and it was just working with football at that time, correct? And now we have expanded this organization with our volleyball, football, girls and boys basketball this year. So with that being said, Ms. Meyerowitz, I hope I didn't mispronounce your name. Come on up, you have the calm.
My name is Carly Meyerowitz, and as Superintendent was saying, I work right here at Fort Sam Houston with the R2, that stands for Ready and Resilient Performance Center. For the past 3 years, I have had the honor to be able to work with Coach Norman and the entire athletic department. So this would be my 4th year coming in and helping out with the athletic program. And the type of services that I do provide is I help all the athletes here and the coaches how to operate better from a mental standpoint, using a variety of psychological skills training. We mostly hit on a lot of communication, how to recover, make sure you're not, letting your emotions overwhelm you. And then for the coaches, we do talk a lot about leadership and communication and better ways to improve their game as well. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So you do more group setting, individual settings?
So it's both. Individual settings is going to be more one-on-one with coaches. I haven't been afforded the opportunity to do one-on-one sessions with athletes. But with the athletes, it's much more of group sessions and what I would consider hip pocket training, which is a 30-second spiel. Okay, here's this skill, here's the strategy, go back out, you come back in. If it doesn't work, we got 1,000 more to give you and help you out.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
I like that.
No problem.
Thank you. Madam President, board members, that's my report for the month of October.
Thank you all. Agenda item number 6. Minutes from the regular board regular business meeting of September 24, 2025. The superintendent recommends approving the minutes from the regular business meeting of September 24, 2025 as submitted. Are there any corrections, questions? Do I have a motion?
Madam President, I recommend approving the minutes from the regular business meeting of September 24, 2025, as submitted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the minutes from the regular business meeting of September 24, 2025 as submitted, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Aaron Braxton, II.
I, Willie White.
Hi, Rebecca.
I, Andrea Nicholas. It says on here, all passes. Says the motion passes, hearing none. Agenda item number 7, public hearing to discuss the 2024-2025 financial integrity rating system of Texas. First, report for Fort Sam Houston ISD.
Members of the board, this is an annual hearing that is held regarding the district's financial rating. For the public, there is this report that's available, and if we can make some more copies if anybody needs one, and then we have this public hearing. So this is a system that TEA put in place in 2002, 2003. The ratings are always based on the prior year's financial data. And it is to ensure Texas public school districts are held accountable for the quality of their financial management practices. There are 21 indicators listed in the report. One of them is not evaluated this year. The rating has a 4-score system, A, B, C, and F, with 70 being a C, 80 being a B, and then A is 90 to 100, and then if you're 70, you receive an F. So when we talk about the 24-25 rating, the fiscal year ended August 31st of 24. The deadline to submit our financial audit to TEA was January 28th of 25. TEA released those preliminary ratings August 8th. Districts have an opportunity to appeal those ratings if there's any issues with them. And then in the fall, we are required to conduct this public hearing. The public hearing needs to include not only this year's rating, but how we compare to the prior year. It also needs to include a management report that includes specified disclosures. And then afterwards, Madam President, there's an opportunity for public comments. People do not have to sign up for those public comments, but those comments may only be about the public hearing that we're conducting right now. So we are proud to say that we did receive the A superior. A again is 90 to 100. Our score was 100. So we consistently have received this superior rating in prior years as well. So I'll quickly go through each of the ratings, just a quick overview of them. The first one was our financial report filed on time with Texas Education Agency. Yes, it was. Did we basically have a clean audit? And that's, for auditor's language, that means an unmodified opinion, so it was a clean audit. Were we compliant with our payment terms for any debt? We do not have any debt, so we do pass that one. The next one is, do we make timely payments to various governmental entities such as Teacher Retirement System, Texas Workforce Commission, the IRS? And yes, we make those payments on time. Our net financial position, basically, are we in the black as far as operating? And yes, our net position is $55 million. The thing to note about these first 5, if you fail any one of them, the district automatically gets an F for the whole report. These are, pass or fail, no matter how good every other of the 15 indicators are. These are, you don't get above a fail with these. 6 through 10, was there an average change in our balance? Current years, our fund balances, did we make any significant changes with that? We met the thresholds for that. Number of days of cash. We have more than 90 days of cash on hand. One of the reasons we do that is, for example, the position we're in right now. Half of our funds come through the U.S. Department of Education. They are shut down right now. No money is flowing to us. So we always make sure we keep significant cash on hand because we want to make sure all of our employees are paid and we can pay the electrical bill every month. The next one is again kind of a measure of liquidity, our current assets to current liabilities. Number 9, our general fund revenues equal or exceed our expenditures. Basically, did we have a balanced budget? And if we didn't have a balanced budget, again, did we have cash on hand to make payments? Number 10 is the one that's not being evaluated this year, and that's a TEA decision. Going to the next set, again, some liquidity, long-term liabilities, we were fine there. Correlation between debt requirements were good. Administrative cost ratio, number 13, the ratios are based on size of district, and you receive anywhere from 0 to 10 points. We receive the full number of 10 points, which says that we do not have too many administrative costs within our school district. The next one, it looks at our staffing ratio compared to our student ratio, and we met the threshold there and did receive the full 10 points. Number 15, we have to report what is our expected average daily attendance to the Texas Education Agency every 2 years. And so you're having to kind of guess at it. Well, then TEA rates you on how well did you guess what your ADA is going to be for the next 2 years. So we did pass that and got all the maximum 5 points on that. The next one was our information that we submit to TEA. Was it accurate? And to give you an idea, so they ask, is that variance less than 3% of all expenditures? And to give you an idea of how many data points there are, if you could divide 47 by 28.3 million data points, that's what they're looking at. So yes, we were substantially less than the 3% variance that's allowed. The last set, did the external auditor, in our report, did they find we had any material weaknesses of internal controls? So this is when we make sure within our district we have proper checks and balances. And they found no instances of that, so we passed that indicator. The next one, material noncompliance with grants, contracts, any of our laws. So they do a check of that as well. They did not find any issues there. Number 19, did we post required financial information on our website? And so they took a look there, and yes, we were posting the required information. Number 20, did we discuss our property tax values? So at our annual budget hearing, we discussed the fact that we don't have taxes because we are on federal property. And the last one, did we have an adjusted payment schedule? So what happens with some school districts, if they were overpaid because of how their average daily attendance was reported, and they owe money to the state of Texas, were they so overpaid that they had to work out a payment agreement with the state of Texas? And that didn't apply to us because we're managing our money adequately. In addition to these indicators, we are required to have these additional disclosures, and these are in this management report here. These include the superintendent's contract, which we post on our website, reimbursements received by the superintendent and board, and again, this is fiscal year 24. So these are all listed in there. The reimbursements are for basically board members. This is your travel to conferences as well as the superintendents. And there were no outside compensation or gifts or business transactions for any of the board members in fiscal year 24. How do we look across the state of Texas? And again, this comes from TEA's website. So we break it out by the traditional school districts, the charter schools, and then what's the statewide total. We see by and large many school districts are doing their job managing school district funds. The charter schools, it's a little bit lower percentage there of those that achieve the A rating. So we're serving 5.5 million students within the state of Texas. And then again, we are very proud of that A rating that we received. For anybody who wants additional information, you go to TEA's website, Finance and Grants, and there's that first that you can click on there. And it is a team effort. It's truly a team effort. As you saw some of those indicators, you know, it takes people accurately reporting information, PEAMS, and PEAMS has student, staff, and financial data. So again, it's a team effort with everybody in the business office and the campuses all working together. So, Madam President, that concludes the public hearing. And then we can go on to the next agenda item, which is the public comments.
Board members, do you have any questions? Reference the information that was just shared.
No questions, but excellent job. So that you and your team.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Statement or agenda item number 8, public comments. Public comments regarding the first report only. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to ask a question about the first report, which was just presented to you, or to us, by Assistant Superintendent Novak? Yes, sir.
I'm just, Ms. Novak, can I get a copy of the presentation? I noticed that there were some slides that were not in your report. So can I get a copy of that?
Yeah, of the PowerPoint? Yes,
Yes.
sir, but the PowerPoint is a summary of what's in here, but absolutely, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
great, thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
I had a question on, if this report's already been submitted to TA, if we request this report, is this something we can access that this district is willing to provide to us if we requested it? Or
So,
is that?
so when you go to TEA's website, you'll see this part of the report, the last couple of pages. The rest of it, we compile ourselves. TEA issues the rating, and from the rating, we have to prepare this management report.
Right, but I mean, the work's already done, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, the work is based on
You've already done all the
23-24
work.
data.
If we
Yes.
put in for a request for what you submitted to TA, is that something that's simply discovered and can be?
So they're getting the bulk of the information from our audit report, and our audit report is on our website. And then the various PEAM submissions that we have to submit to Texas Education Agency.
Okay, but if I were to ask for line items, would that be something that's easily gotten off this report?
So when you go to TEA's website, these are all hyperlinks. So when you pull up this report on TEA's website, you click on each one of these indicators, it's gonna give you the specific numbers of how they got that particular, how we were able to pass that ratio or get the 10 points. You will see the actual data there on TEA's website.
From what the district submitted?
Yes, sir. And again, it comes from our audit reports.
Okay. And then, sorry, one last question, though, everything's kind of clumped up as far as what stuff is reported as far as the reimbursements received. I know there's receipts and transactions that go with those, is that, can we request line items for those, is that easily?
You'd have to submit a public information request for that because the report asks for a summary.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Moving forward, agenda item number 9, financial reports for September 2025. The superintendent recommends approving the financial reports for September 2025 as submitted. Anything to say to that? Are there any questions?
Not
Board members,
I guess for,
comments?
on the allotment for the impact aid? When do we normally, I know we're impacted by the government shutdown, but do we normally receive it during this time?
Normally, we would receive some money by November.
Yes, by November. Okay, I understand we're not in,
Right.
we have plenty, I just, as this thing drags on,
Yes.
just want to know how we're gonna have that backlog
Yeah.
over time. Okay, that was my only question on the budget side.
Anyone else? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I move that the board approve the financial, reports for September 2025 as submitted.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the financial reports for September 2025 as submitted, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
I, Willie White.
Aye, Rebecca Sanders.
Aye, Aaron Bryson, second.
Aye, Andrea Nicholas. None opposed, the motion passes. Agenda item number 10, resolution acknowledging review of the investment policy. The superintendent recommends adopting the resolution acknowledging the review of the investment policy for the 2025-2026 school year as submitted.
This is something we do annually. There was no changes this year. Let's go back, anything else? All right.
Anybody have any questions or comments reference this agenda item? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I motion to adopt the resolution acknowledging the review of the investment policy for the 2025-26 school year as submitted.
Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor of adopting the resolution acknowledging the review of the investment policy for the 2025-2026 school year as submitted, signify by raising your hand, saying aye, and stating your name.
Aye, Rebecca Sanders.
Aye, Aaron Bryson, second.
I, Willie White.
Aye, Andrea Nicholas. Hearing none of the opposed, the motion passes. Agenda item number 11, Gifted and Talented Program Report for the 2024-2025 school year.
This is just,
Is
go ahead, I'm sorry.
It says, is the Gifted and Talented Program Report for the 2024-2025 school year.
Discussion.
Discussion only.
Ms. Fuller,
Yes.
good evening. You have the call, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening.
One of the programs that I oversee is the Gifted and Talented. This is just the annual report that talks about what we accomplished, any changes and stuff that we did for last year. The first page is just the legal, the Texas Education Code. I include that always for your reference. On the second page, it does say 23-24 at the top. It should say 24-25, even though because we go from year to year. But the biggest focus on this is that you can see that our enrollment on both campuses has gone up a little bit over the years. Especially, we had a nice jump last year, and a lot of that is because we are taking a lot more care in how we educate our teachers, especially on how to recognize gifted and talented students. And then also, we in the past, like if you go back to the 2020 numbers and stuff, we probably had no what we call twice exceptional students. Twice exceptional students are students that are gifted and talented, but they may not be recognized because they have other things going on. They might have been dyslexic, they may have been emergent bilingual learners, they might be special education students. So we have actually been upping those numbers and recognizing the gifted status of a lot of the students who sometimes get overlooked. And that's part of why the number has gone up. And we've just gotten better at recognizing it and referring those kids to go through the assessment. No students were furloughed or exited, which is good. That's what we want. We don't want kids to leave the program. The biggest accomplishment is in the staffing and professional development. It says, for example, at the end of the year last year, we had 70 core teachers. It said only 7 of our 70 core teachers were still working on their updates, and that's because 5 of them were new hires. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you go back a couple of years, Cole, because all of the teachers are teaching, we don't have a pull-out program at the high school and the secondary because it's not possible with their schedules. And so all of the students who teach all of the teachers who have core classes have to have their 30 hours and then their 6-hour annual update. At the elementary school, they used to pull those kids out of class for enrichment. Well, we've stopped doing that as much as we used to. We still do it, but not as much. They're staying in class more often. So within 2 years, and by the end of next year will be the end of 3 years, every single core teacher at the elementary school will have their 30-hour foundation unless they're a new hire and be just getting their 6th annual update. And that was a huge lift for us. And we're very proud that we've gotten there. Now we have to just start working on all that implementation and making sure that they're getting that support in the classroom and not just waiting for them to be pulled out of class. So it's a really good progress monitor for how we're doing in our GT program. And then the last little part, I just pointed out a couple of the really cool things that the kiddos did last year. The elementary school did their entrepreneur expo, and they were buying and selling and stuff. And I think if you read the last sentences about as their little expo started to wind down at the end, how they were putting things on sale or having to deal with supply and demand as the evening went on. So that was fun. And then we had the older kids went to Canyon Lake. They had an amazing sleepover kind of experience, and everything they did was tied to STEAM principles. And then lastly, we were accepted, 4 of our middle schoolers were accepted to present at Region 20's annual middle school gifted and talented program. It's just open to 7th graders. We have a team of 4 girls who did it. They designed a lockbox activity. It's based on kind of escape room stuff. They designed the whole thing. They presented it. It was wildly well received. They were completely packed. They had no room left in their sessions, so they did really well. So all in all, that's my report for how we did in gifted and talented programming last year.
Thank you.
Questions or?
Full real quick, if I could. I know this program, right, when people put titles on it, right, it draw a lot of interest from parents. And I know that this is teacher identification, but if a parent wants to, a parent can also say, could you test my child, could you observe my child? And so, a student as well. So I just want to make sure that that is well known.
And one of the requirements that we have to do each year is we have to make that known,
Yeah.
but it's also on our website, and we also do flyers and handouts and stuff to make sure that parents know that they can refer their child to be assessed.
Absolutely.
And that process is open year-round, even though we don't test year-round. A parent can refer their child any day of the year.
You know, for the record, this is a great thing that we're doing here because for those who don't know, parents can't request in some school districts for their kids to be tested. The teacher or the administrator have to select that individual to be tested. So that's not an automatic, you know. So having this program where the students and the parents can do so means a lot.
Glad to hear that. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions, comments? Good, thank you. Moving on. Agenda item number 12, Emerging Bilingual Program Report for the 2024-2025 school year.
This is another program that I oversee.
It's full of.
This is discussion only.
This is our emergent bilinguals that used to be called ESL, but now it's emergent bilingual. Again, the first page is just Texas Education Code. The top is a program summary. I did want to point out, if you're a math person, that if you add up the 46 students, and stuff, it says 21 and 26, and that's not obviously 46. And the reason for that is that parents have the option, once their child is identified, to deny services. And that's where that weird number comes from. We do have a couple of parents that, for whatever reason, they deny services. We still we still support the student in the ways that we can. It's just that they're not served officially within the program. And that's a Texas thing that's actually new. The last 2 years that we still can serve them. We used to be able to not support them at all, but now we can. So, academic progress, the first set is the results of the TELPAS test, which is the test that they take annually to rate their English proficiency, which is what we're trying to do, is grow their English proficiency. So you can see that in all of the grade levels, we had about 5% of our kids at beginning, which is of course the lowest, and about 21% of our kids at advanced high. You will notice that the state column is blank because as of yesterday, they still have not posted what the statewide numbers are. They have the statewide results for TELPAS, but they don't have the levels like they normally do. I have no idea why, except I do know that TEA is going through big changes in the Emerging Bilingual program, which might be why. And then TELPAS Alt, which is what our students that are in the self-contained special education settings take, and you can see their performance levels are a little bit different, but we have half at early independence and half at basic fluency, and those are roughly mirror the ones above, beginning and intermediate. They're about the same kind of level that we're talking about. There's a lot of numbers and percentages on there, but what I really want you to just look at is, well, if you take kindergarten, for example, so 100% of our kids, it says in listening. That means 100% of the kindergartners that are emergent bilingual are in the intermediate level in the listening domain, okay? And then you can read down and see how all our grade levels perform. I don't think we have a missing grade level this year. We do not. If you ever see a missing grade level, it's because there were no EBs in that grade level. Speaking was 100% in that domain, and then you can see reading and writing were a little bit different. Reading and writing are the two hardest domains because it's what comes last for kids. Kids talk to each other in class, they watch TV, their listening and speaking advances much quicker than actually learning to read and write in English. So that's to be expected, and then of course kindergarten are still just learning to read and write, period. So, but overall our kids are doing very well. In fact, the one thing that I really wanted to highlight is that we made a good jump in our speaking scores. We have been struggling with our speaking scores for years, and I will credit our coordinator from Cole last year, Mr. Robert Elizalde, did an amazing job prepping those kids to get ready. And also thinking about what kind of testing situation they're in, because they're in a room like this, they all have headphones on, and if you know anything about teenagers, they don't like to be talking out loud into a microphone but know that the other people can hear them. They get a little performance anxiety. But the thing is, the kids have to talk for at least a minute or more to get the higher ratings. And so we've been working with our kids, and we made a lot of progress last year. We learned a lot of new things. So he did a fantastic job. Tells you how they exit. We are doing much better in exiting. I don't think I've recorded an exit in the program for a couple of years, but we had one kid who was supposed to be exited, but she was a senior, and the only way you can exit them is they have to take the Iowa test, and she's like, no. I'm graduating in a month, I'm not taking another test. So she refused to take the test, but she would have been exited from the program. So, and again, we have lots of newcomers. And again, everything that you see that comes from the state is about Spanish, like Spanish math curriculum and Spanish RLA curriculum. Most of our kids don't speak Spanish. They speak French, and they speak Portuguese, and they speak German, and they speak Russian, and they speak Japanese, because we are getting them from all over the world. So, you know, it's nice to talk about Spanish, but that doesn't help us a whole lot. The highlights are on the last page. We are working to increase our number of ESL certified teachers. We submitted our waiver. We only have 2 teachers on waiver, and they're in actually pretty unique situations. So it came as a surprise that we had to even put in a waiver this year. Region 20 came in and audited our program for us. We invited them to last year. Our biggest areas of improvement was the organization of our CUNE folders, and that's really, it's paperwork stuff, but the problem is tracking the years in schools. A lot of other places don't report that, but we have to report it in Texas, so it's almost like being a detective trying to figure out when did the kids get to the United States? Did they stay? Did they leave and come back? So that's what we didn't get a ding, but they said we need to work on that. And then the highlight was when they did class observations, they said that the support they were getting in class was good. And then also we're working on a guidebook a guidebook for the program that hopefully will be finished by the end of this year. And that's my report.
Cool, outstanding.
Questions?
Couple of questions.
Sure.
And you kind of put this in perspective, and I think you and I have discussed this. Our EB population, that is increasing, correct?
It's little increments, but yes, it is
Okay.
going up.
And this may not affect our district, but there are districts, and I think Ms. Novak and I talked about this. EB population is growing quite a bit in a lot of school districts, but enrollment is declining. And so folks are trying to figure out why, and so they're finding out their EB students are not coming to school. Why is that? They're afraid
They're free.
to come to school. So just to kind of put that narrative out there in that perspective, that's why a large number, you talk about school enrollment declining, a lot of districts and colleagues I've spoke to, it's their EB students. So, thank you, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Thank you very much. Agenda item number 13, Department of Defense Education Activity, DODEA Grant Update.
Dr. Friesenhahn, good evening. You have a call, ma'am.
Good evening. I was here last year giving the update of the DODEA grant that we're going to talk about. Last year we highlighted year 2. This year we are highlighting year 3, which was 24-25. We just closed out that year. We are starting our year 4. So this is highlighting the great things that took place last year. So just a friendly recap of the DODEA grant itself. It was termed the 3 R's of rebooting school culture, rethink, re-architect, and renew. It was a $2 million grant that the district received in 2022. The project aimed to increase math achievement in grades 3 through 8. Doing this by implementing instructional coaches, research-based professional learning, and enhancing the social-emotional support of our teachers and our students. Some highlights there you'll see are instructional coaches leading the PLCs last year 3 to 4 days a week, facilitating through curriculum-based professional learning. And we also had our special education coaches, because yes, we have 2. We have one at the elementary and one at the secondary, which you'll find is very unique to our district when you look out at other districts that do not have specialized special education coaches. So we're very fortunate that we're able to have special education coaches for our teachers and our parents to look for. So they were joining the content coaches in the PLCs along with the paras and interventionists being in the PLCs, and so everyone is being supported in the way that best suits them with the curriculum. We also, number 2, ICs participated in a plethora, as you can see, that's a few of our research-based professional learning that they were partook in last year. And then number 3 is curriculum-based professional learning study group facilitators. Overall, we started with 19 teachers. That includes our instructional, not including our instructional coaches.
And at the end of the year, we ended with 18. So 18 of our teachers stayed with us through the professional learning study group. And we'll go more into discussion of that later. So a few of our successes from last year, I just want to hit real quickly. Instructional coaches were key partners in helping teachers internalize and deliver the new curriculum. We had a few new curriculums last year, and so our coaches took it on with the new protocol and helping teachers internalize that in their PLCs. Students reported, as we'll go into later, feeling engaged and very supported in their curriculum and with the SEL initiatives that were taking place. And then the third bullet is the district's investment in our collaborative structures. As I stated before, was our professional-based learning study group, which was taking teachers on their campuses and help positioning them as leaderships on their campus with the shared ownership of what we were moving. Now the two goals of our grant was, our goal 1 was by 2027, military connected students in grades 3 through 5 will improve their math achievement as evidenced by quantitative or qualitative measures. And our second goal was by 2027, our military connected students in grades 6 through 8 will improve their math achievement as evidenced by quantitative or qualitative measures. And yes, it does say or, and I'm gonna go more into that later, because we have specific measurements that they take. So we are measured on these 3 areas within our goals. So the first area is, of course, the STAR Mathematics Assessment. The second measure taken is focus groups, and so we do have a site evaluator that comes out in spring, and she meets with teachers, she meets with the instructional coaches, and she meets with students, of course by parent approval, to go ahead and have conversations with them of how they are doing in their math classes. And then our third measurement that we look at are parent surveys that go out around March or April at the end of the year to our families in order to see their perception of math that is taking place on our campus. So those are the 3 measurements that we look at. So looking at our first measurement, of course, our STAR Mathematics data. This is our first measurement, looking at our first goal of the elementary 3 through 5. If you, 21-22 is our baseline. So we measure our progress each year through how we did on 22 STAR. And if you look at through the years, and so 24-25, if you look over to the right, no evidence of improvement is noted, because we did decline, as you guys are aware. I know Ms. Fuller had gone through our STAR scores previously. However, we are still on target with our score, and that goes back to earlier when I said quantitative or qualitative. So that's why we have 3 measurements. We are meeting this goal on another measurement, though we are not meeting it currently here, but we still have to year 5 to meet the goal on a STAR measurement. For our second goal, still looking at STAR, these are our students in 6 through 8. Again, 21-22 is baseline, and that's how we progress through the year. So as you can see, in 25, we did hit this measurement target with our secondary students. So we have evidence of improvement. The second measurement we're going to look at is our focus group. As I stated earlier, the evaluator comes out, she does her focus groups with the teachers, the coaches, and the students. So this is our second measurement. Teachers report of student improvement. So she came out in the spring of 2025. If you look to the right, it says limited evidence of improvement, and that's because we had mixed reviews from our teachers. Highlighting, keeping in mind, we had new math curriculum being sent out. It was the first year of that. It was the first year of internalization with the curriculum that was taking place. Some of our teachers were feeling that the math may have been a bit too much rigorous for the students at that time. And some teachers noted that they loved the rigor of their students and they saw the participation. So there was mixed reviews that were coming in at that time. However, which we'll talk about later, our students very much reported that they had grown in math. If you look, they were, our students grew in math and that they loved that it was connected to everyday learning that they were seeing. So though our teachers may have had a perception of something, our students had a different perception of the math that was taking place. Our third measurement is the parent survey feedback, and so looking at grades 3 through 5, this is parent perception, and so if you just go through ability to support work in current grade, ability to support work across K through 12, and then understanding of math being taught. So you'll see the increase from the previous year to this year. This is evidence of improvement, so we hit this measurement target. We are on target with our goal. And a lot of this has to do with our HQIM material coming out. Our math material, since it is a HQIM, very much has parent letters, parent supports that can go out, and things that the teachers were sending home to their families. And our second goal, the math 6th through 8th, we are on target. Though to the left it says no evidence of improvement, and that's because you'll see our percentages had gone down and decreased. Now, however, looking at that, if you do take note that the majority of the parents agree, though, that they do have the ability to support math work and understand the math that is being taught by our teachers within their classrooms.
And how do you measure that, or how do you prepare parents to complement that at home? I know they have like Think Through Math stuff, like they have different programs to aid in the effort for a parent to actually provide additional support. And so what things do you do? Because you said that the majority of the parents agree that they have the ability to support math work and understand the math.
Right. So our teachers do hold parent conferences that are scheduled throughout the year. They do go into tutoring and things like that. Now, one of the changes that we'll see that take place this year, and it should highlight it, secondary has implemented an HQIM this year. This is their first year of implementing one. So with that comes the parent letters and the resources for the parents that are being sent home. So ideally, we should see an increase of this with the notices going out to our families.
Thank you.
So with those measurements of how we're doing on our goals, we also look at our implementation progress. And so we look at this again through the focus groups, the interviews, and then our surveys as well. And what I mean by our strategies are, those were our 2 goals. These are the 3 strategies that we stated that we were going to achieve those goals by. So our first strategy was hiring the instructional coaches and developing their capacity to model and demonstrate best practices, offering non-evaluative feedback, and inspiring teachers to try new learning strategies and tools. Our second strategy is to provide research-based professional learning to train the coaches and teachers in pedagogy, curriculum compacting, and acceleration. As I noted earlier, all of the PD that they partook in last year. And our third strategy is our enhancing social-emotional learning to support students and teachers. So now these are the 3 implementation strategies that we're going to talk about. So the first strategy here, hiring the coaches. And so we have hired our coaches. They are leading curriculum-based professional learning in PLCs. They're seeing progress with teachers in the classrooms. Again, I'm going to highlight our special education teachers with increasing support for special education students. And then student report having positive climate and math classes. If you look to the right, those are actual student quotes that came out of our survey. So students talking about feeling a breakdown and a bit more interactive and more relatable. Every single math thing we're going to learn connects with something, and that was where they were highlighting, talking about it's connecting to the real world, and now that they're seeing that within their classrooms. The second strategy with professional learning, coaches are very satisfied with all of the professional learning that they're receiving. And again, we did have teachers partake in our curriculum-based professional learning study group. And so again, to the right are just some of the highlights of the professional learning that our coaches partook in. Now just to highlight our curriculum-based professional learning study group, The year prior, it was the Teacher Leadership Academy, and it transformed into the curriculum-based professional learning protocol. Because, that is an internalization coming through that helps teachers internalize their lesson, best know how to instruct the lesson and strategies for all the various students that they have in their classroom. And so what we wanted to do was to go ahead and teach our teacher leaders to take that on, because at the moment the coaches were facilitating it, but the goal is that the teachers would start to take it over and run the PLCs. Our third strategy was enhancing social emotional learning support for our students and our teachers. Students participate in character education classes once a month with their counselors. And at the middle school level, in particular, I'm gonna highlight the quote. They shared that classes target timely issues that they were seeing, and one of the biggest examples that they discussed in the focus group was bullying. So they felt that that was a very timely instruction support that came with the counselors, that they were given resources on that, examples of that, and then knowing that they can go to their counselors if anybody had experienced any of that. That's not to say they're experiencing it, it was just they felt that it was very highly spoken about in a timely manner of the school year. So looking at our picture for longevity with promising practices and barriers that we came across this year. And so, of course, some of our promising practices are to continue investing in professional learning, and then to continue investing in our instructional coaches and maintaining our instructional coaches. And so finding ways that we can maintain them and their support as they go through it. Our teachers did discuss highlighting very positive of the coaches, being very thankful they had their instructional coaches, and noting that the instructional coaches would do anything for them and go above and beyond. Some of the barriers that we hit, of course, was it was a first year of curriculum and a first year of curriculum implementation support through learning curriculum-based professional learning protocols in PLC. We are fine with that barrier, as this year it is now our second year, and so we become more accustomed to what is expected. And one of the other highlights is not on here, but we did shift our PLCs from 40 minutes, 4 days a week, to 1 day a week for 90 minutes. So the teachers are in there longer and able to internalize a full lesson, and then once they internalize that lesson, they're able to go through and do the micro teaching and examples that they're needed. So they're not cut short daily, they're able to go through the full cycle of the internalization protocol.
That's at the elementary school.
Yes, sorry, at the elementary. So we're, practices we're hoping to sustain, again, the internalization protocol. We all know what's coming down the way with new curriculum coming out with Texas. And so with new curriculum rolling out, curriculum-based professional learning would be a great protocol to keep using for our teachers and our instructional coaches. We want to keep providing professional development for our instructional coaches, and of course, continue with our lead teachers and helping them grow so they can start to take over that as well in their PLCs. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Good
Thank
job.
you.
We applied for another grant, but as you know, they're not issuing any of the grants.
Agenda item number 14, closed meeting as authorized by Texas Government Code Section 551.071. The time is now 6:29.